Hello my fellow fasting foodie friend, it's Jackie, and today is a Q&A. You ask the questions, I'm answering them to the best of my ability. Reminder, all of my answers come from one unique perspective, my own personal experience with fasting. I'm not an expert, so I can't give medical advice, obviously, but I can tell you how I would approach things, how I do approach things, and any experience I have. Sometimes that means just saying I don't know because I don't have experience with everything. As I get ready for the day, I'm going to answer your questions, and there's like over 50 of them, so we'll get through as many as possible. I will try to condense similar questions. I will try to not answer all of them a million times over, but let's get ready. We'll answer a few questions as I sip my coffee before we, okay. So we're starting with some softballs about how I met my husband, which I love, so thank you, Christine. How did I meet my husband? And how long have we been married? We met through mutual friends. I was actually like 3 grades lower than him in school, and my junior year of high school, a friend of mine had him come over with other friends, and I went to her house, and we met there, and I instantly literally just had the hots for him. I was 16, he was 19. And then I turned 17 very shortly after. We were friends for a long time before he would even consider dating me. And the rest is history. I got married when I was 20, right out of college. And we've been married for almost 15 years now. Another easy question to answer. Why am I so awesome? Guys, it's all a show. I'm actually a loser, and I just put on a show for YouTube. Just kidding. Thank you for a very flattering question, but it does make me feel like I'm blushing. Okay, so this next question asks how I feel about fat fasting, and I don't have any particular knowledge or experience with fat fasting. If I was interested in doing it, I would do a lot of research before I did it, but I'm sorry, I have no experience on it. But thank you for the question. Okay, the next question, I'm gonna answer this as I start getting ready. First, this is the only thing I can't link below. You buy this at Aldi. I love it. It is their day cream. Anti-wrinkle. I use their day cream every morning, and I use the night cream every night. I wash my face in the shower right before this. I didn't film that, but I'm just putting my cream on. So this question is, if you're doing a longer fast and you use unflavored electrolytes, at what point in your fast do you usually have them? I've done a few 24-hour fasts now, and I can see what you mean about muscle and headaches that are killer. So I don't usually get headaches, but I know a lot of people do if your electrolytes are low. What I do when I do my unflavored and a longer fast is generally around when I normally break my window, so like 18, 19, or 20 hours. Or if I just feel like I need the pick-me-up, but if I do it between 18 and like 20 hours, if I'm doing an extended fast, that's when I add the electrolytes in. And I feel like that would help me not get to the leg cramp or, in your instance, headache. That's where I would do it. Okay, so now I have my face cream on, and I'm going to move on to Glow Screen. This is an SPF 40 that I put on every day. It is tinted, and I love it. I don't use a foundation. I just use this. So there we go. That was probably a little too much. But thanks for the question. Marcy asks, is it better to do a longer fast using cream in your coffee or flavored water, or do a shorter fast that's clean with only plain water or black coffee? Okay, so this is definitely an opinion-based question. I obviously haven't done studies to compare the two, but if I were telling someone how to start, I would suggest doing just plain black coffee and shorter fasts. I think it's really important to learn how to fast without all of the extra things, and if you learn to do it at 14 hours, then you can slowly increase your window, or even 12 hours. If you get good at fasting clean, you can learn to extend your window pretty gradually. Know that every single person's different. If you can get 16 hours easily every day, but then you need a Diet Coke to get to 20 hours, I'm not gonna tell you that you're doing it wrong. Like, that's not personally how I fast. But I do think it's important for every person to find the way that works for them. But if you're asking me what I think is better, that's what I think would be better. Learn to fast clean, and then eventually learn to extend your window. That's the way I would approach it. because it's been very beneficial for me. So Lisa says she likes to do an up day and then a down day. It allows her to be more spontaneous. I have absolutely zero experience doing it that way. It's almost like you're giving your body recovery. Instead of prepping for a larger day of eating, you're in recovery for a larger day of eating. And personally, I think it still is a cyclical relationship. I have zero medical or basis for speaking on this, obviously. However, if your body still sees that you're eating a lot and then you're eating a little bit and then you go back to say OMAD or whatever you would normally do on day 3 after the down day, it's not going to feel like it's starving itself. I think the only caution to what I've learned about is that after a down day, your body refuels. It feels like your body's going to recognize that you are still going to properly fuel yourself. So make sure that even after a down day, that whatever your normal schedule is that you return to, that you're eating enough, that you're not like still restricting where your body might feel like, are we not going to eat enough? Okay, I'm going to move into eyeshadow, and I'm not going to talk about it as I'm doing it. I'm just going to keep answering questions. But first, I'm just going to show you, I'm using a Revlon palette. I love brown palettes, and I love sparkle. I don't know why. I'm 35, and yes, I love sparkle on my eyes still. So Marie asked that she hears me talk about up days and down days. So when I fast 24 hours, is that considered a down day? And should I not do a 20-hour day afterwards? Okay, so when I fast 24 hours, that is just strictly like an OMAD schedule. That is not me doing a down day. So 24-hour fasts happen regularly within my window. So maybe one day I finish eating at 4 p.m. And then the next day, because we have a volleyball game, we don't eat dinner until 6:30. That means if I only ate dinner those nights, that I had a 24-hour fast. I just treat it like a normal OMAD, and I do not treat it like a down day because I'm still eating. I'm not limiting my calories in any way, shape, or form. So if you're not restricting calories and the only thing that you're going off of is time, that is not a down day. A down day, you are also restricting what you're eating and the calories. It is becoming abundantly clear to me that this is going to take a while, and I will probably have to make this a two-part series. Dawn asked, and this is a good follow-on question, if I think it's necessary to do an up day after a down day, and I think yes. I'm using a CoverGirl palette. It has blush, contour, and highlight. I really like it. I have no idea what I'm doing, so don't pay attention to any tutorial. Yes, I do think an up day is important. Wow, that is pigmented. I think it's important because you don't want your body to think that undereating is the norm. And we kind of discussed earlier doing an up day and then a down day. You want your body to see that you are going to feed it properly. So whether you do it before or after, maybe it doesn't make a difference. I'm not really sure. I've always done an up day following a down day. But you don't want your body to think that the restriction is the new normal, because then it will hold on to fat. From everything that I've seen, everything I've read, yes, your body will eventually think, wow, she is not going to feed me properly. He is not going to feed me properly. I need to hold on to this fat and not burn it as fuel source. I think that adding the variety of a down day and up day allows your body to see there are some days we eat less and some days we eat more, and it won't freak out. I think that's the goal. Again, Jen's book is what gave me my guidance, so I follow that as well. And so this is also following Jen's advice. If a 6-hour day is hard for you to eat that much, make it 12 hours. Like, it doesn't have to be 2 meals in 6 hours only. You could eat breakfast and then wait all day to be hungry again and eat dinner. It doesn't have to be just a 6-hour eating window. Use it as something to enjoy. I have actually, because I have kids in school now, I've been able to meet friends multiple times for breakfast. I'll do my down day, and then on the up day, I eat breakfast and I'm eating dinner with my family. It's a longer up day, and it's been really enjoyable. Jackie asked me if I will continue to use 18 hours as my minimum when I'm at Disney. When you're seeing this, it is the day before I leave for Disney, and my answer is no. So I'm really excited to be on vacation. And one thing that I will do is I will not have a minimum fasting hour. I'm just simply going to eat when I want to. Do I think I will probably still have longer fasts because food isn't opportune or the foods that I want aren't around? Yes, I think I will still have longer fasts because I feel really good fasting long, but it won't be because I feel like it's necessary. One thing that I'm most looking forward to about Disney is the food. So if I want to eat beignets at my resort at 8 in the morning, I will. I'm hoping I'm not going to feel restricted there. I don't plan to feel restricted, but on vacation, fasting is not going to be my priority. It'll be my second ever trip to Disney, my second ever trip to Florida, and I'm going to enjoy it. Whatever sounds good, I'm going to eat it. And that might mean that fasting sounds good. So if fasting sounds good and my family's eating lunch and I don't really like the selection or it isn't appealing to me, I will continue fasting, but it won't be from a standpoint of checking my watch, making sure I'm getting my hours. It'll be, it's what sounds best. And I plan to make a fasting video early in October about how I fasted at Disney and how it changed for vacation. Elizabeth says she's recently hit a plateau, but a 48-hour fast put her back on track. How can I say I do 24 if I do 20 hours and my eating window is an hour? Well, you're not doing 24 then, are you? I think one of the very funny things, and I think it comes with learning, is you are not stuck to adding your hours up to 24 hours. 24 hours is just simply what a day is. When people ask me my schedule, I tell them averages because that's mainly what you're looking for. So if you want to know what your schedule is, just go, if you track your fast, go back and look and see if your average fast is 22.5 hours. That means you're predominantly a 22.5 hour faster and then a 1.5 hour eating window. But it doesn't mean you have to get that every day. So if you normally fast 20 hours and then you have a 1 hour eating window and then the next day it's different, you don't have a standard 24, you just have averages. So you can go back and look at your averages, or if someone's asking what you're doing, say I fast 20 hours every day. It looks, some days I eat an hour, some days I eat 6 hours. That's how I personally am. I have my minimum 18-hour fast. Generally it looks more like 21-hour fasting, or just say what your fast is normally and that your eating window varies. But you're right, it doesn't add up to 24. An Aldi question, I love it. So someone asked if Aldi has a water that stacks up to Topo Chico. One, I like Topo Chico better, so I will say that. It's just really good. The glass bottle's fun. But Aldi has an Italian sparkling mineral water that I love. It's very bubbly. It's very smooth, and I think it tastes really good. It is about $5 for a 6-pack. So it's about as pricey as Topo Chico. I had them during my 72-hour fast. I don't buy them as frequently as I buy my liters of Belvie, but it reminds me of Topo Chico. Okay, so this one, someone is asking, her and her husband were both diagnosed with cancer, one breast cancer, one leukemia, and first of all, I'm extremely sorry to hear that. She said that in the past, intermittent fasting has made her feel amazing, but she's having a hard time getting back into the headspace. Any advice? So my first piece of advice would be to give yourself grace. You're imagining intermittent fasting before you had your cancer diagnosis, your recovery, and life is just not the same as it was then. So don't expect your journey to be the same. That's my first piece of advice. And then also, don't compare yourself starting again with where you were when you felt really good with it. So you're gonna have to start again. You're gonna have to have a day one again. So if that means you start with shorter fasts, give yourself grace to do that. Even if you were an all-star faster before you had the cancers to deal with, that doesn't mean you're gonna start fasting the exact same way, but you can get back there. So allow yourself time to learn to fast again, to build the fasting muscle. Give yourself grace if it's not perfect every day. It's not gonna be, but you can get back there and you can do it. The next question is from Melissa, and I will answer her question as I'm putting on mascara. This is just CoverGirl Lash Blast. I bought this on Amazon because I run out of mascara and I hate going to the store to buy it. So I like getting one I can get delivered. She says, do you think taking collagen peptides in your coffee breaks your fast? Yes, I do. I like to take collagen peptides. I have a protein one, Vital Proteins, I think, but I put it in iced coffee. I make a delicious little coffee drink when I have it, but I have it in my eating window. I think it's just a lot of extras that can break your fast, and I haven't really put much thought into it, but I also know that it is consuming things, so it's not a mineral, and I choose to not have it in my fasting window. I hate bottom mascara. I don't know why, I just don't use it. Sabria asks if I think it's possible to lose too much weight with OMAD, and my personal experience is it has not been that way. I was losing weight really rapidly, and then I hit a plateau, which is what you're kind of wondering. So once I hit the low 150s, to lose weight, it really became sacrificial, or I had to make choices. Personally, my body hit a point where it was very comfortable, and even with keeping my OMAD schedule, with continuing to fast, I didn't continue to lose weight. It wasn't like I was just shrinking. My body hit a point where it was very comfortable. I hit that plateau, and I haven't experienced like continual weight loss no matter what. So I do think that, as you suggest, it kind of levels out and your body does a good job of taking care of itself. If you get to a point where you do think that you're losing too much weight, it's never been my experience, but I would definitely increase window or increase the amount that you're eating within your window. Make sure you are fully satisfying your body's needs. I have 2 more questions I'm going to answer. Then we'll get the rest of the questions in part 2 because this is taking a long time. So the next question, what do I do if I need to take medicine or pain reliever during your fasting window? Some things can't be taken on an empty stomach, but I don't want to break my fast. Any suggestion? So first of all, my suggestion, the boring answer, is to talk to your physician. My doctor, when I had my tonsils out, prescribed me something, and he said I needed to take it with food. So I asked him if I really needed to take it with food because I was fasting. He was actually extremely snarky about it. But he told me basically if I felt nauseous, that was basically what the result was going to be, is I could potentially be nauseous if I took it without food. So I was willing to try. I did not feel nauseous and it was fine. But I talked about all of that with my physician. Other items, like if I do have a headache that I cannot shake, or when I had COVID, I was taking a cold and flu medicine. I literally knew it was more important for me to address the headache or to address the cold and flu that I was dealing with, or the symptoms I was dealing with. So I personally just chose to take the cold and flu medicine and the ibuprofen. That has not been cleared with my doctor, so I'm not telling you that it's okay to do. I didn't feel any adverse effects. As a matter of fact, my headache will go away or my cold symptoms will improve. That is more important to me than having a perfect fast. So that's how I approach it. But I think the most important thing is to work with your individual physician, because everyone's medical needs and what you're taking medicine for varies greatly person to person. And I don't have like a daily medicine that I take. It's only been as I'm in recovery for things, and that's how I handle it. Final question before I go blow dry my hair is, how long did it take for me to see improvement in my skin? Kind of funny because as I'm doing this side of my face looks amazing. This side of my face does not. I don't know what's going on. Some of this, I had burns on my face. I had a potato explode and I burnt my face earlier this summer. It has not gone away or healed. I hope it does. The other stuff, I am currently on my period and I have hormonal acne and I'm really bad at picking it. Awesome skin? Not awesome skin. But my skin really did greatly improve with intermittent fasting, and it happened pretty quickly. I'd say within 3 to 4 months, I started hearing regularly from people in my life like, wow, your skin looks so great. What are you doing? I think it's a combination of two things, fasting and glow screen. I absolutely love this stuff. People love this. Okay, so I just did my hair, and that is the end of part 1. Come back next Saturday for part 2. If you want to see one that I've done in the past, you can check out this video right here. And if it's after next week, you can check out part 2, also linked in the pinned comment, if it's out. Thank you so much for watching. Chow down and chow. Fun fact, I don't like lipstick. I like tinted moisturizer. And it's always this one.